Hi, welcome to all those who are joining us this morning. Thank you so much for taking your time. Now, we are going to wait for a few more participants to join us for today's online seminar. So please do be patient with us. Now, in the meantime, please do see if you can find where your chat box is. Later on, if you have any questions that you might want to ask, you can also drop it into the chat box. So please do test out the chat box right now. Now what you can do in the chat box right now is, first of all, maybe you can introduce a little bit about yourself, share your name, or you can share a little bit about, how you are feeling today. So please do take your time, just find the chat box, test out the chat box right now. Now we are going to wait for a few more participants to join us this morning. So good morning, Andy. Now we're going to wait for a few more to join us so that we can start today's seminar. As all of you know, you are here today for the seminar titled The New Beauty Trend, Scalp Care. So I presume all of you are very interested about scalp care, dandruff in particular, how you can manage your dandruff. So thank you so much for joining us today. Now we are going to hang on in there while we wait for a few more participants to join us. So do hang tight, stay there. And later on, we will also be giving away a hair treatment vouchers worth $460. So please do stay tuned on how you can win this hair treatment voucher. Hi, Jen. Hi, everyone. So glad you're joining us on this Saturday morning. It's a Saturday morning. So really glad that you're waking up relatively early on a Saturday morning to join us to find more about your hair care. So thank you so much, Magdalene, as well, for joining us today. So we're going to wait for some more participants. I think that if you do want to pop into the chat box, maybe what you are concerned about. So some of us have different concerns about our hair, maybe things that your questions you have about hair care, scalp care. Sometimes we don't really have an avenue to ask these questions other than Google. So if you have any questions, please do pop it into the chat as well today. Hi, Bao Cheng. So thank you so much for joining us this morning as well. So we are going to hang in there once again. I think it's early Saturday morning, so people are not really awake yet. So maybe they're still waking up, having their breakfast and joining us this morning. So thank you so much. Now, as you know, later on, we'll be having an expert who will be with us to share a little bit more about scalp care, hair care, and how in particular, today we're going to talk about dandruff. In particular, how you can manage dandruff, how you can take care of your scalp and your hair as well. So do stay tuned. Yep, so we have a few more joining us. So thank you so much for joining us. I see we have a few more with us today. So we're gonna, for those who are early, once again, thank you so much. It's a Saturday morning, and I know it's really difficult to wake up after you've been waking up for 5 days straight for work. So thank you for joining us to learn more about scalp care, hair care this morning. Hello. So do feel free to pop into the chat box how you're feeling this morning, perhaps. Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling a bit irritated, anxious, frustrated? If you need emoticons to help you, emojis to help you express how you're feeling, you can also pop it into the chat. So just to test out the chat function, also to say hi to everyone who is here this morning. And if you have any specific hair care issues, So questions that you might have, especially in relation to scalp care, because that is today's focus, the new beauty trend, which is scalp care. So a lot of us take care of our hair, of course, you know, we color our hair like me, you perm your hair, you do all sorts of treatments in your hair. But how many of us really take the time to look at our scalp, to take care of our scalp? So today we are going to focus specifically on scalp care. So for those who just joined us today, I think we have a few more participants who just joined us. Once again, welcome to this morning's session. This is the new beauty trend scalp care. Now we're just waiting for more participants to join us. And in the meantime, while you're joining us, if you could just type in the chat box how you are feeling this Saturday morning. Are you tired? Are you happy, excited? Do you want to learn more today? Also, if you have any concerns about hair or scalp care, do pop it into the chat box as well. Now, later on, after our sharing by our expert today, we will be having a short Q&A. So if you have any questions in the meantime, please do pop it into the chat box. And also, at the end of today's session, we will be having a very special deal for all of you here to be able to win a hair treatment voucher worth $460. So do hang in there, hang on to the end. You learn lots of tips about hair and scalp care, and also you will be able to stand a chance to win this hair treatment voucher worth $460. Now, right now, I see that more and more people who are joining us. Thank you so much for your time today. So thank you so much. Once again, you can hear me going on and on. So right now, if you have any questions about scalp or hair care, or maybe you want to share a little bit about, you know, what you've been doing to take care of your hair. So specifically now, what do you do to take care of your hair every day? Like, I know a lot of us, of course, we wash our hair with shampoo, maybe conditioner, maybe some of us don't use conditioner. What are things that you do? Some of us may use hair masks or even other treatments. So please do type in the chat box right now if you do have any specific hair care treatments that you do on a daily basis or a weekly basis. Do share with us how you do take care of your hair. So let's take a look how people there's a question that's come in, so we can also answer these questions later on as well. So take note of these questions. Later on in QA, we'll get Yuki, who is our expert today, joining us to answer some of our questions today. So once again, if you have any questions about hair care, scalp care in particular, please do pop them into the chat box. And at the end of the session, we will be having a Q&A. We'll be answering some of the more common questions. So do pop your questions in the chat box. And again, do share with us how you take care of your hair. Anything specific that you do, you know, some of us do specific hair mask, hair treatment at home even, or maybe even leave on conditioner, things like that. So any specific things that you do to take care of your hair care, your scalp care, you can pop it into the chat as well. Just share with us this morning. Now today, the focus is about scalp care. Focus is about dandruff in particular. We're going to be talking about that later on, and some scalp and hair care tips that Yuki will be sharing with us later on. So we are seeing more people joining us this morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Now we are talking about hair care right now. So what do you do to take care of your hair? Do share with us in the chat box, test it out right here. What sort of treatments, what sort of things do you do to take care of your hair? So we are going to start very shortly. So by 11:15 we will start. So thank you so much for all of you who have joined us early, especially for those who have been waiting since before 11 a.m. You can see there are a few in the waiting room. So thank you so much for joining us early. Now this is a Saturday morning. It is the first month of 2022. So it's a good time to really start taking care of yourself, making resolutions to take care of your hair, your scalp for this year ahead, making yourself perhaps healthier and more, having to solve your hair care problems, your scalp care problems in this coming year. So if that is one of your resolutions, to take care of yourself, to take care of your hair, your scalp, to take care of your own, beauty, then perhaps you can learn a lot during today's session about scalp care in particular. So again, at the end of the session, we will be sharing with you how you can win a special treatment voucher worth $460, as well as a scalp massage wooden brush. So you will be able to stand a chance to win this later on in today's seminar. So please do hang around. Now I can see someone says that they share the 101, they use a 101 hair tonic after hair wash. Wow, I think it's really good to be able to have that time to put extra steps into your hair care as well. Sometimes it's really how much effort we put into taking care of ourselves. They say that, we have to put a lot of care into loving ourselves, taking care of ourselves, especially during this pandemic period when there's so many things going on. I know a lot of us have gone through a lot of things, so do take care of yourself. All right, so now it's 11:15. We're going to start off today's session. Thanks again, everyone. Good morning and welcome to today's session. Now, this is our very first own online seminar. This is called the New Beauty Trend Scalp Care. Now, my name is Laura and I am your MC today. So it's a great pleasure and honor to welcome all of you here. Now, as I mentioned earlier, we were in the pandemic period, and in this post-pandemic era, a lot of us may be experiencing hair loss, and maybe you don't know what exactly causes all this hair loss or dandruff issues. So today, we will be sharing with you a little bit of useful hair care tips on how to take care of your scalp for healthy hair. So do stay throughout the session. As mentioned earlier, we will be bringing some great deals to you, at the end of this session. So before we begin, let's take a look at a short video clip. This is featuring our brand ambassador, Xu Bin. Please take a look.
Beijing 101, the heat start for your hair. If you're facing hair loss,
All right, so Beijing 101 hair consultants have been around for more than 45 years, and we are dedicated to helping customers to tackle their hair and scalp issues. So there are a lot of hair and scalp issues, that we may experience, like hair loss, we have hair thinning, dry and oily, dry and damaged hair, oily scalp, dandruff, graying hair. So some of us may be experiencing one or more of these issues. And Beijing 101 Hair Consultants has a signature hair treatment, which is formulated with premium grade Chinese herbs, alongside advice from certified hair consultants, as well as TCM physicians. Now, based on research conducted by Nielsen, 9 out of 10 customers have seen positive results after doing hair treatments with 101 Hair Consultants. I'm sure all of us can't wait to find out more about growing healthy hair. So without further ado, let me introduce you to our senior trainer. This is Yuki, who will be sharing with us more on our hair care tips. Welcome, Yuki. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Yuki. I'm the senior consultant at 101 Hair Consultants. Okay, today I'll be sharing some information on dandruff and then some useful hair care tips for you to prevent dandruff. So sit back, relax, and I hope you enjoy. Okay, so first of all, I would like to ask, do you all know what is dandruff? And how many of you actually experienced dandruff before? And if you actually experience dandruff now, have you found a solution to it yet? Okay. Actually, dandruff is basically an excessive buildup of the sebums on the scalp. And then lots of dead skin actually also build up on the scalp. Okay, and this actually consider a cosmetic disease. Okay, how does this dandruff happens? Okay, it actually happens when our scalp pH become imbalanced, meaning to say that the protective barrier is actually getting weak. So when the malassezia fungus, a kind of fungus actually grow on the scalp, is actually irritate the scalp. So when the scalp being irritated, it will undergo an inflammation process. Then it will cause a lot of build up of the dead skin on the scalp. So when this build up on the scalp, it will eventually fall off. And when it fall off, then you will see a lot of white flake on the shoulders. So this is called dandruff. Okay, then although dandruff is not life-threatening or contagious disease, but you have to admit that dandruff actually cause scalp very itchy and very irritated, and it can be very annoying sometimes, right?
Yeah, that's right. So thank you so much, Yuki, for the initial sharing about yourself, also a little bit more about dandruff. Now, if you have any questions once again during this seminar, please do pop them into the chat box, and we have a Q&A later on so we can answer some of your questions. Now we have a poll going on right here. Our first question for today's poll, which you can click yes or no on, is, do you know there are different types of dandruff? Do you know there are different types of dandruff? So please do, I think there should be a poll. If there's no poll, why don't you just type yes or no into the chat box? Do you know there are different types of dandruff? Different types? No? So we get some yes, one no so far. Anyone else has answers? Yes, no, no, no. I see a lot of no's actually in the chat box. And right now we have 2 yeses, 4 no's, 5 no's, 6 no's. Let's see. So right now, just think about it. Do we have different types of dandruff, or is it just one generic type of dandruff? I'm just going to give another 10 seconds for you to think about it. Type in the chat box. What do you think? Are there different types of dandruff? You know, does it come in different colors perhaps? Or is it just one type of dandruff? So let's take a look. Oh, so most of us here actually have shared that. No, they don't think there are different types of dandruff. So let's ask Yuki, are there different types of dandruff?
Yes, of course. Okay, because dandruff basically divided into 2 groups, which is one is actually considered oily dandruff, another one is dry dandruff. Okay, then the difference between these 2 types of dandruff is the amount of sebum being produced on the scalp. Okay, obviously for oily dandruff is actually due to overproduction of the sebum, which is the oil on the scalp, and then you didn't remove it completely when you're washing your hair. Okay, and the dry dandruff is due to too little of sebum being produced, and then the dead skin is eventually dried up and peel off. So you're leaving a lot of white flakes. Okay, so how do you know that you actually have oily or dry dandruff? Actually, you can look at the location of the white flake. Okay, if the majority of the white flake is actually still stick on the hair, that means you are having oily dandruff. If let's say majority of the white flake is actually fall off on the shoulders, then you are most probably having dry dandruff. And some people actually having the condition like seborrheic dermatitis is actually a condition that belong to oily dandruff. Well, I believe some of you actually heard about their scalp is actually very dehydrated, and some even have the eczema and psoriasis kind of conditions. All this is actually belong to the dry dandruff.
Wow, so really it's not just one type of dandruff. There's actually 2 different types of dandruff. It's actually mainly oily or dry, depending on where the dandruff is found. So I think some of us at home right now, we have to really look at our scalp. Where's the dandruff? Is it falling on our shoulders, or is it stuck in our hair? And I think there are also different ways of dealing with different kinds of dandruff. Well, now moving on, now that we know there are different kinds of dandruff, do you think dandruff can be treated? So this is our second question for today. All the ladies and gentlemen right here, do you think that dandruff can be treated? Once again, you can type in the chat. Is it yes or is it no? Have you been trying to treat your dandruff and not be able to see results, or you think that there's no treatment whatsoever for dandruff? So I see a lot of yeses, 3 yeses so far. So let's see. Does anyone think, oh, they're all yeses? Yes, 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 yes. Yes. Do we think that we can treat dandruff? So I'm going to give you another 10 seconds to just type in the chat. Do you think that you can treat dandruff? And once again, if you have any further questions that you know about scalp care or hair care that you want us to answer, Yuki to answer, please do type it in the chat. We will address some of these questions at the end of today's seminar. Okay, so I see we have a few answers so far. The rest of us, I suppose, we do agree with these answers. So it is yes, they think that dandruff can be treated. So let's hear from the expert right now. Yuki, can dandruff be treated?
Yes, bingo. Okay, dandruff can be treated, but before you get it treated, of course, you need to know what causes the dandruff first. Okay, so the main causes is due to the improper hair care. When we're talking about improper hair care, it could be due to you doesn't choose a correct product, meaning the ingredients that inside the shampoo doesn't address to the specific problem that you are having now. Okay, and then you doesn't wash enough when you are having oily scalp, or you tend to wash over when you have dry scalp. Okay, we also have customers saying that after the chemical treatment, they experience dry dandruff. Okay, so the more you're having the chemical treatment in the ears, actually this chemical treatment including the hair coloring and then straightening and perming, because this chemical will gradually dry out our scalp and then eventually develop into a dry dandruff. Okay,
so a lot of different causes as well. So are there any other causes for dandruff then?
Yes, of course, like stress. Okay, although stress don't cause dandruff directly, but it will actually cause hormonal imbalance. Okay, when we have hormonal imbalance, what will happen to the scalp is either too dry or either too oily. Okay, so when the scalp is become too dry, then it will have the chance to develop into dry dandruff. When the scalp is getting too oily, then it will develop into oily dandruff when we doesn't wash or doesn't take care of the scalp in our hair care routine. Okay, and it's not difficult to identify whether you have hormonal imbalance or not, because there is a series of symptoms that you can check for yourself, like mood swing, okay, and then weight gain without any reason. You doesn't sleep well at night, or you're feeling anxiety all the times, and even hot flushes is also part of the symptoms of hormonal imbalance. Yeah, then other factors like diet. Okay, the diet, what kind of diets actually will cause dandruff? That is the unhealthy diet. Unhealthy diet, we all know that such as junk food is actually contains a high level of sugar, fat, and sodiums. All this will actually lead to the health issue such as cholesterol, and then diabetes, and then high blood pressure, and all this, etc. But not only that, when we consume a lot of unhealthy food, it actually will trigger excessive sebum production on the scalp, and then eventually it will actually worsen the oily dandruff problem. So climate, okay, I think a lot of people will think what to do with the climate. Okay, actually climate changes will actually cause the changes of the scalp types, will also cause the changes of the scalp type as well. Okay, I don't know how many of you have experienced this when they actually returning home from a winter holidays, actually they also bring back a scalp of the dry dandruff. The reason being is in the cold weather, actually our scalp will be dry up gradually, and then it will develop into a dry dandruff, which you are unaware of. Okay, when you are in Singapore, which is hot and humid, okay, then you have to actually wash your scalp every day, because hot and humid actually will trigger not only the sebum, but it actually causes us to perspire a lot. So we have to wash our scalp every day in order to take care of the hygiene of the scalp to prevent the oily dandruff.
Well, I think there's a lot of factors involved, especially just now when you mentioned junk food. I was like feeling a bit guilty because I think we do eat a lot of junk food, especially like when we're up late at night or eating supper. So all these things really do factor into dandruff, the production of, the health of your scalp as well. And I think we also have one question that was popped out in the chat box from Andy. I think we can just quickly just clarify that. He asked whether chemical treatment also includes hair coloring.
Yes, chemical treatment is including the hair coloring.
So that's one.
Yeah.
So if you do color your hair, I think, or even bleach your hair, which is quite, I guess, we all know that it's quite harmful to your hair. So all this, does affect your hair as well. Okay, so let's go on quickly to our very next question. Now, this is the question. Do you think that dandruff can lead to hair loss? So we all know that we're talking about dandruff so far. Do you think that it can lead to hair loss? So just type yes or no into the chat box down below. Do you think that dandruff can lead to hair loss? And I see that we have a few more participants who have just joined us just a few minutes ago. So right now we are in the middle of today's presentation. We are asking all of our participants some questions. So please do feel free to answer the questions in the chat box. And if you have any further questions that you want to ask, please do pop them in the chat box as well. Later on at the end, the Q&A, we will be answering some of those questions. So I see that we have yes, no, yes, no. So a few here and there, yes. So most of us have said yes, that dandruff will lead to hair loss, although we have one no. Anyone else has any thoughts about this? Do you think dandruff can lead to hair loss? Yes, so we get mostly yeses here. So what about it, Yuki? Does dandruff lead to hair loss?
Okay, actually dandruff don't cause hair loss directly, okay, but we have to all admit that dandruff could be very irritating and very itchy, so you tend to scratch your hair, and then when you scratch aggressively and repeatedly, this will actually damage the scalp, and then eventually it will damage the hair follicles, which then lead to hair loss.
So it's not the dandruff itself, but it's a way that you are dealing with the symptoms of dandruff, which is the itchy scalp and all that. That's what can indirectly cause hair loss. Correct. So it's not dandruff itself. So I see. So well, let's go on to the fourth question. Now this question I think is quite straightforward. This question that we have for everyone is, do you want to know how dandruff can be prevented? Answer correctly. If you answer correctly, Yuki will go on to explain. If maybe you say no, maybe Yuki won't explain anymore. So please do. Of course, we will go on, but I just want to hear from all of us today. Here we are talking about scalp care tips, to talk about the causes of dandruff, the different kinds of dandruff. So do you want to know how dandruff can be prevented? That's the question for this part. Yes, maybe this is not your time right now. You don't want to know. A lot of yeses that I can see in the chat box, of course. We all want to know. One person says visit 101, use a good shampoo, a lot of suggestions there. So we all want to know. In the process right now, please do type any additional questions that you have in the chat box. We will answer them later on. So, Yuki, many people say yes, they want to know how dandruff can be prevented. So please share with us how we can prevent dandruff.
Okay, good. Then I will share with you. Okay, the first step is actually to take care of the hygiene of the scalp. Okay, because when we're talking about hygiene of the scalp, you need to choose a correct shampoo according to the dandruff types that you're having. It's either oily or dry. Okay, otherwise it won't address to the problem that you're having. Okay, then after that, you need to wash your hair every day if you are having oily scalp, oily dandruff. Okay, and if let's say you are actually identified that you are having dry dandruff, then most probably you might want to wash every alternate day instead of every day. Okay, then remember, when we wash our hair, we use shampoo, so please remember to rinse with a lot of water, because you don't want the shampoo residue to leave on the scalp, because it will get the dandruff even worse. Okay, and remember to use warm water, which is 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, I know that dandruff is very itchy and is very irritated, but try not to scratch with your fingers, because our fingers and hands are actually full of bacteria. When you have dandruff, you already have enough bacteria on the scalp already. Okay, and if you already have dandruff at this moment, please try not to do any chemical treatments like coloring, perming, or straightening kind of treatment on your scalp, because it will get no matter what type of dandruff that you're having, you will get it worse on it. Okay, yeah. Okay, then of course, when you are stressed, you have to relax yourself. Okay, I know it's not easy, but at least you try. Okay, because otherwise the stress will actually will lower down our immune system, and then even more will lower down our immune system, then our scalp will actually become even more sensitive, and the fungus of malassezia will growing on the scalp and then cause the inflammations. So talking about the stress management, actually you can try to practice some relaxation techniques like yoga or meditations. If you have no time, you can actually take a walk in the gardens, or taking controlled breathings for 1 or 2 minutes is actually help to relax your mind as well. Okay. Then come to food. Okay, everybody cannot live without food, right? Yeah, because food is the energy for our daily life, but it's also a key role for the health of our scalp and the hair. Okay, so then how do you choose the healthy food? Of course, you have to try to restrict the intake of this sodiums, the sugar, and the fat. Okay, and try to include more greens and high quality proteins in your daily diet, because all this food actually not only to balance up our pH, is also improve our immune system and strengthen our hair root, so that our hair is not easily fall off. Yeah.
So really what we eat really affects not just, our health, of course, our weight affects that, but also affects our hair, our scalp health and all that. So really, I think it's about taking care of our, what we're eating, taking care of what we're doing in our daily life, even how we're washing our hair. All these things really contribute to, healthy scalp and healthy hair.
Yes. Yeah. So Rora, please remember, actually unhealthy food is actually will lead to hair loss. So start from today, we all should eat healthily. Then come to the last tips that I'm going to share with all of you, which is the massage. And I believe everybody know how good is massage, because massage not only improve the blood circulations, actually it's also improve the scalp metabolism, which then will improve your dandruff. Okay, and the massage that I'm going to tell you is pretty simple. What do you need is just a brush, okay, and especially the wooden type, because this wooden type of brush is actually anti-static and it will not cause hair frizziness. Okay, and what you're going to do with this brush is actually, I have this brush with me. Okay, I'm going to use, other than brush on your hair, actually you can use it to pat on the scalp gently as a massage. Okay, and the good thing about this brush is it's actually made from the tiny seamless comb tooth that will not damage your scalp. Okay, and it's very accurate to trigger the acupoint on the scalp, so that it improves the blood flow. When the blood flow is getting improved, then it strengthens the hair root, so the hair fall will getting lesser and lesser. Okay, so I have a picture here to show you how we divide the scalp into 5 sections, and then you can follow this picture to perform the massage at home at your convenience, anytime, anywhere that you want. Okay, so I will now demo for you to see. Okay, so we already divided our scalp into 5 sections, and always start from the middle sections. And the starting point is from the hairline, because you'll see most of our hairline is actually those tiny hair. It actually needs a lot of nutrients to sustain. So we start from here. We gently put the comb tooth on the scalp and then we pat on it. Okay, every pat is actually 10 times count. Okay, after 10 times, then you move to another part. Okay, until all the way down to the back of your scalp. Okay, so this is the back of the scalp. Okay, you have to press until here. So then when you complete, then we will change to another side, which is section 2. Okay, again, always start from the hairline. Yeah, and then remember it's 10 count. Yeah, do not take any discount. Okay, so we will pat gently all the way, same back to the down to the back of the scalp. Okay. So you complete the second section, then you go to the third section, the fourth section, and the fifth sections. Okay, this is considered a complete cycle of the massage. Okay, other than using the brush to pat on the scalp, if let's say you don't like the feeling of patting on the scalp, actually you can use the this wooden comb to comb your scalp instead, not the hair, but it's the scalp, so that you make sure the comb tooth is actually touching on the scalp, really on the scalp. Okay, you just brush like this all the way down to the back. Yeah, okay, so repeat again for 10 times. Always do it for 10 times. Okay. Okay, I believe when you complete this, okay, after 10 times, then you move to the second section, third section, fourth section, and fifth sections. Okay, so after the massage, after the brushing of the scalp, you will feel the warm sensations, and this sensation is telling you that your blood circulation is getting better now. Yeah. Okay, so I have come to the end of my hair care sharing sections, and I hope you enjoy, and I hope you also gain some valuable insight. So now I'll pass on my time to Laura. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Yuki, for sharing so much. Now, of course, in the scalp care, I think it's very important to use the right brush as well, because if you just use any other brush outside, it might not actually help our scalp so much. So this brush is really important as well. Where to get the comb? Well, we are going to show you later on a special deal where you can stand a chance to win one of these scalp massage wooden brushes. Also, you'll be able to stand a chance to win a hair treatment voucher worth $460. So please do hang around and we will tell you how you can win these items. So thank you, Yuki, once again for sharing all these useful and informative tips on maintaining a healthy scalp. So it's very comprehensive. You know, we can get a healthy scalp from the type of hair care products to stress management, you know, walking, meditation, what we eat, our daily food intake, even massage. So it's not just massaging our bodies, which a lot of us love body massage, but really massaging your scalp as well helps to keep it healthy and of course keep the blood circulation going. So remember, a healthy scalp gives healthy hair. So once again, do pop any questions that you have in the chat box. Our Q&A will be coming up very soon. So let's watch a short clip right now on what you can experience at Beijing 101 Hair Consultants. All right, so that's what you can expect at an experience at Beijing 101 Hair Consultants. So right now, this is a chance to book an appointment for today's session. Now, today's session, we are offering a very special promotion. This is a scalp analysis and a customized hair treatment. This is usually worth $502. Right now, we're offering it at just $40. This comes with a free $5 fair price voucher, as well as you will get this set of travel size shampoo and conditioner. So you can scan this QR code. Now, the special deal that I told you about, right? The hair treatment voucher that you can win, the scalp massage wooden brush. Don't worry, that's coming up very soon as well after our Q&A. So this is, if you want to book an appointment with us at just $40, you can get this $5 fair price voucher, as well as this travel size shampoo and conditioner. Now, this treatment is usually worth $502. So right now we're offering you, for this session only, you get this hair treatment for just $40. So just scan this QR code. We are all very familiar with QR codes at this point of time after 2 years of pandemic. So just use your phone camera, your QR code scanner. You can scan this QR code. You can put in your information right there, and the call center will contact you after this session to confirm your appointment. So remember that today, this is only for this session today. So this QR code, this special deal is only valid up to 1 p.m. So you have about 1 hour, 15 minutes to take advantage of this offer. So please do scan this QR code right now. Go to the link so that you have it in your phone. So right now we are going to move on Q&A session. So if you have any questions that you want to ask Yuki about hair care, scalp care, please do pop them into the chat box. We have a few questions that were asked earlier on, so we will ask those questions to Yuki first of all. Now, in the meantime, if you think of anything that you want to ask, some very burning questions you've never been able to ask before, please do pop them in the chat box about scalp care, hair care specifically. So Yuki, very early on today, now before a lot of people came in, we had one question, I think, from one of our friends here, Ling Ling. Now, Ling Ling asks, can I wash my hair twice a day? You know, once in the morning, once in the evening. What do you think, Yuki?
Okay, I think this question has been answered in my previous presentations, because all this is actually depend on the type of scalp that you're having. If let's say you're having oily scalp, then of course you can wash twice a day. Yeah, especially when you sweat a lot and you perspire, because when you perspire, actually our sebaceous gland will tend to produce the sebum as well. Yeah, but if let's say you are dry scalp, then actually I will not recommend you to wash twice a day, morning and or afternoon, because it actually will dry up the skin. Then I don't think you want to develop the dry dandruff, right? Yeah.
So I think some of us also weren't around earlier because some of us did join later on. So one of our very first things that we talked about this earlier on, for those who did join us later on, was about the different types of dandruff. So there's oily dandruff, the kind that, you know, it's stuck on your hair, correct? And then there's the dry dandruff, the kind that flakes off onto your shoulders. So really knowing how to treat the different kinds of dandruff also depends on what kind of dandruff you have, right?
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, so do take a look at your scalp. You know, if you have dandruff, take a look at your scalp. Identify what kind of dandruff you have before deciding, you know, how often you're going to wash your hair. And this is a similar question as well from Eaton. What is the best time to wash hair?
Okay, so for TCM, right, we always recommend us to wash the hair before sunset. That's because to prevent having migraine. Okay, in ancient time, because we do not have the hair dryer to blow dry our hair, especially at night, that's why you tend to have migraines after you wash your hair at night. So, but with the technology nowadays, actually we can wash our hair anytime at your convenience. But remember, when you wash your hair at night, you have to blow dry your scalp and hair before you went for sleep, because you don't want to get the migraine, right? And also it will prevent the growing of the fungus malassezia on the wet and damp hair while you're sleeping. Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine fungus growing on your hair? I think that's correct. That doesn't sound like very good to you. So make sure you dry your hair before going to sleep. But I think a follow-up question from that is something that there's a personal concern, and I don't know if any of our participants are concerned about as well. It's about blow drying, about the temperature blow drying. You know, especially if we wash our hair late, like almost every night, when we come back late every night, and we blow dry every night, what kind of effect does that have on the hair? You know, is it very bad for the hair?
Yes, of course, you use those very high heat temperature would tend to actually dry up the hair shaft, and then eventually it will spread up. So what we recommend is you use a medium high heat, which is not very burning type, okay? Because the most important is we want the hair dryer to blow dry our scalp. Then for the hair shaft is actually you can blow dry about 80 to 90% dry. That will be okay. And then keep a distance of 10 to 15 centimeter away from the scalp, so that it will not directly, the heat will not directly burn on the hair and the scalp as well.
I think a lot of tips also, even we want to blow dry. So maybe the best time to wash your hair is when it can really be able to dry by itself naturally after that as well.
Yeah.
So we have a few more questions that have been popped into the chat. I think we have time for a few more questions because it's 11:49 right now. Now, for those of you, please do hang around. As I mentioned, later on, I will share with you about the opportunity to be able to win the hair treatment voucher worth $460, as well as the scalp massage wooden brush that Yuki introduced earlier on. So we are going to answer a few more questions right now. This one is quite interesting. They ask which kind of shampoo is meant for oily or dry hair. There are different kinds of shampoo, right?
Yes, of course. If let's say you're talking about 101 hair consultant, we do have different type of shampoo that cater to different type of dandruff. If let's say you are having oily dandruff, actually I would recommend you to use our balancing shampoo, which actually is antiseptic, meaning to kill all the bacteria or the fungus that's actually growing on the scalp. And then if let's say you are having dry scalp, then I will recommend you our cleansing conditioner, which this cleansing conditioner, although sound like a conditioner, but it's actually a kind of shampoo that look like a conditioner, meaning that it's actually very moisturizing. The main purpose is to moisturize the dry scalp so that the peeled off consistency will reduce. Yeah, so eventually it will not cause the dry dandruff.
Yeah. So I think again it goes back to we have to really be able to identify what kind of scalp, what kind of condition is. Then we can see how we can, what kind of shampoo we can use.
Yes.
It will be quite harmful if we use the wrong kind of shampoo on our hair. Like we use something oily and then you have a dry one, it will be even worse.
Yes, then you'll see a lot of white flake all over the shoulder.
It will make it worse than before.
Yes.
Yeah. So let's go on very quickly. Next one is, what are the Chinese herbs used in the 101 treatment?
Okay, actually, during the treatment, we use a lot of Chinese herbs, especially the ginseng. And we all know that ginseng is a premium grade and is actually a precious medicinal herbs. Okay, the main functions of this ginseng is actually to provide vital energy to the cell, every cell in the body, including our follicles. Okay, so and in Chinese, we call this vital energy as qi. So when this qi and blood is sufficient in our body, then our hair will become very strong and not easily fall off. Another good thing about the ginseng is that it contains an active ingredient called ginsenoside. Okay, this ginsenoside is actually used to moisturize our hair fiber and then increase the resilience of the hair over the times.
So I think a lot of Chinese herbs, sometimes we don't really see, we eat them and all those things, but actually they can also help in our hair care, scalp care as well. So let's move on very quickly. I will ask one last question. I know someone asked what is the lucky hair color for 2022. I don't think Yuki is a fortune teller, so maybe it'd be better to ask your fortune teller reader what's our lucky hair color. Chinese New Year is coming up as well. I think maybe different people got different hair color because they all come from different years, maybe pink color, blue color. So you can go ask your fortune teller. We will go for our last question very quickly before we go on to how I can talk to you about how you can win that special deal. So our last question is on Zhang Le. He or she asks, how fast can you see results from the treatment, I suppose?
Of course, the result is very according to the conditions that you are having. Okay, and our consultant will actually before we do the treatment, actually the consultation is very important because we need to identify the conditions that you are having and how serious is it. Then we will prescribe according to the conditions that you are having. And then I believe with the constant treatments, you will see the gradual improvement. Yeah, not the kind of immediate improvement, but you will see the improvement gradually when you persistently do the treatments. Yeah.
So I think it's about identifying the right treatment. So having experts to, consultants to be able to identify the right treatment for you, also persisting with it, because some treatments might be more severe, some might take a longer time, some might be very fast. So it really depends on your condition, your scalp as well.
Yes.
So thank you so much, Yuki, for your answering all these questions, your time. Now, right now, for all our participants, this is what you've been waiting for, I think, some of us. So this is the chance for you to win a hair treatment voucher. This is worth $460. And you can also win a scalp massage wooden brush. Now, this is the wooden brush that Yuki was talking about earlier on. So you can use it scalp massage for yourself at home. Once again, it's very important to use the correct brush. Because if you're using all those combs out there, it might actually damage your scalp instead. So here you have a chance to win this hair treatment voucher worth $460. Also the scalp massage wooden brush. Now how to win? You just scan this QR code. Now this is a different QR code from the other one before. So please do take out your cameras, again, your phone cameras, your QR code scanners, not your trace together, your own cameras, your QR code scanner, scan this QR code. You can go to the link. Now on the link, you can read the particulars that you have to fill in. Also, there are some terms and conditions there. So please do read it clearly first before filling in your particulars. And there are 3 questions that you have to answer. So we will be picking 5 winners with the correct answers will be selected at random. Once again, this is only for today. Now, this is only up to how do you scan? Now, what you can do actually, I think, is how do you scan with a QR code if you have a camera? What you can do, I think, you can then screenshot of your phone. I would suggest that you take a screenshot of your phone, and if you can send it to someone else, you can scan it off their phone as well. So do click the screenshot, the QR code. This is valid until 1 p.m. So you got 1 hour more to be able to, once this session is over, you can get someone to help you to scan the QR code, go to the link, answer the questions correctly. I don't think you'll take 1 hour to answer them. Fill in your particulars, read the terms and conditions, and you will stand a chance to win this $460 hair treatment as well as the scalp massage wooden brush. So remember to fill in your email address correctly, ladies and gentlemen. We will be contacting our winners by email. So please do fill in your email address correctly so that you can stand a chance to win. So I'll give you another 10 to 15 seconds to either get a phone to scan this QR code, or you can take a screenshot of this QR code. And once this session is over, you will be able to scan it and you're able to participate and to win. We are picking 5 winners from today, so that's a very good chance of winning. So please do take your screenshot or take your QR code right now. Okay, 5, 4, 3. I'm going to move on to the next slide. All right, so you better get now. 2. I can see some people panicking. Okay, so okay. So right now we're going to move on. Now this is other QR code. You can see it's actually for our appointment. So if you do want to book an appointment, please maybe do take a photo of the other QR code as well. In case maybe you're not one of our lucky winners, you can actually also participate in this. So you can also share this by 1 p.m. again. Please do sign up for this. Our call center will contact you for an appointment. Now this comes with a travel size shampoo and conditioner, as well as a $5 fair price voucher for this QR code. So you get $40 treatment. This is usually $502. You're getting it for just $40. So someone asked to post a link in the chat. Is it possible? I'll ask with the administrators of today's session. Now, again, we have come to the end of today's session. Thank you so much for being so patient with us, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you have learned a lot of scalp care tips on this Saturday morning. In case any of you miss out on the sharing today, we will still be sharing this live recording on our YouTube channel. But the QR codes won't be valid by the time it's up. So please do scan your QR codes now. If you want to check out our latest happenings, you can keep yourself up to date on our social media pages. So ladies and gentlemen, this wraps up today's session on the new beauty trend, scalp care. Thank you for all our viewers, our participants, for making time today to join us. I hope you've got lots of informative and valuable tips to take care of your hair in this new year. So it's been our pleasure to host this online seminar. Thank you again to Yuki. Let's all give her a big round of applause. Thank you for sharing your knowledge with us today. And I wish you all a very happy Saturday ahead. So stay safe, take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.